毒なんか入ってない。ほら。
That's my dictator. I know the anime hasn't finished airing yet, but I feel like nobody is talking about the third season right now, especially when this is the best one yet. I believe that the last part of Act 1 is what seriously hooked a lot of people into the world of Arknights, especially when it comes to dealing with multiple set pieces all colliding into one. And it's unfortunate that the anime only has enough budget for 10 episodes, meaning that they have to somehow cram all of chapter 7 and 8 into one season, which gave us episode 2. Yeah, even I was lost. But beside that singular episode, everything has been building up to the final conflict of the reunion act and the inevitable clash between ideals and executions. We're beginning to see more stories of why characters are the way they are, and I want to do it a bit of justice with the limited time I have. So I'm going to talk about the entire journey we took to get here, because I'm not going to pretend and deny that the beginning of Arknight was pretty boring. And yet, I think it builds on and adds to the overall experience. There will be spoilers for all 3 seasons, but I will keep season 3 spoilers to a minimum because it absolutely deserves to be watched by a larger audience than it has right now. So get your snacks ready, put down the horse racing game, and let me tell you about the Arknights Anime. If I can give season 1 anything, it's that it established the tone and the world. We see that there's some kind of disease spreading around while war and technology has advanced a considerable amount. Magic kind of exists, but there's a scientific explanation behind it. When it was first announced, I was incredibly hyped and even dragged my friends along with me to watch it, only for them to start scrolling and doing literally anything else than watching the most boring slogfest gacha game with animal people in it. I think the one thing everyone in the community can agree with me is that the early chapter of Arknight is boring. But before I beat the dead horse that is the first season anymore, I want to shine a light on what it did great and what it continues to do to this day. Aside from having the best ED song out of every season, the first episode undoubtedly established an intriguing premise, and the final episode solidifies the grimness of the world. This isn't going to be a story of happy endings, and not everyone can be saved. We follow our main noodle protagonist, who's basically a stand-in for us. This guy allows everyone to give us the exposition, like, wow, healing? So magic does exist. No, it's actually rock tech, and for some reason, that just makes sense to me. The downtime scenes really helps to flesh out the characters, especially when the anime had to cram 4 whole chapters into 8 episodes. The voice acting and animation is gorgeous, and you can tell that despite the constraint, they were still able to create something pleasant to the eyes. But unfortunately, that is all it has going for it. Looking back, I had a great time watching it because the anime was a fan service to me. I love seeing the characters I've been using move around and do things. Holy crap, that's Jack. Whether it's due to censorship or just budget constraints, I think the anime could do better if it had gritty scenes in it. I never really felt like anyone got seriously injured in the show, and when they did, it wasn't as serious as the story tries to present it to be. But all of this opinion is coming from someone who loves the story of Arknights, because it manages to depict heavy topics in a deeper way. For example, focusing purely on the first arc, oppression is the main theme. But rather than just saying that it's bad and we should all hold hands and talk to each other, Arknight goes through some nuanced details, like showing us how a revolutionary movement, no matter how justified, can get carried away and easily devolve into unguided terrorism. What's crazier is, even though it has all of these dark themes, this is still a gacha game. So occasionally, we get some of this. Anyways, did the second season get any better? I don't know, maybe I should. When season 2 came out, I don't think anyone was as excited as I was. Probably because the bar of expectation season 1 has set was It is at this time that I begged HYPERGRYPH to not copyright my videos 7 times in a row. I went out and bought the first ever figurine in my life to appease you. The second season varied in reception because the first half was okay, and this is when they started their favorite fragmenting the story and letting you see all POVs. And they're gonna keep doing this, by the way. They still had 8 episodes for 3 chapters, and you see things go by like that. Look at this for example. Chen stood between the injured Hoshiguma and a bunch of enemies. Her friend wants her to leave and save herself, but Chen promised to repay the debt she owes to Hoshi, the friend that's always been there to defend her. So she goes and leaps off into a heroic display. I'm repeating the same problem here, so let me show you something that while could be considered as nitpicky, is what I firmly believe would have elevated the anime. We've only been shown Rhodes Island, but never compared to the behemoth that is Lungmen. There's a problem with understanding distance and scale of conflict in the anime, and that's why we never felt anything when a character decides to leave another. It just kinda seems like she went around the block. I think they could have done something like Attack on Titan where there's the architecture or technology screens between the big cuts. Something like this, which also could provide for amazing world building. I love the Frost Nova interactions. I love that the story shows how sometimes good people are forced to do what they have to in order to survive. Because in a war, there are no winning side. People get hurt and innocents caught in a crossfire. This season almost made me feel for both sides of the conflict. Almost because of this kid. Anytime I felt that the fight might be justified, I am then reminded about this freaking child. Geneva Convention? More like Geneva Suggestion. And before any of you are like, but he's just a kid with a rough childhood. Hitler? The best thing for me in this season was definitely Frost Nova and Blaze. Despite not having enough time to really get to know these characters, I actually think they managed to make you care just enough about the main antagonist and her small crew. One look at them might tell you that they're just a bunch of cold ice mages, but then they started to show you that no, this is a bunch of people who've grown up together in the gulag with nothing but each other. They're more like a family now, and when we established a temporary truce with them, we found out that they're pretty chill. Even when it was just the Doctor and Frost Nova, instead of blowing us away, we got to learn more about her and her ragtag family. It's honestly a touching moment, especially when they all promise to join us once the fighting is over. And Blaze? She's basically my fan service. I'm gonna be honest, I did not read this half the story when season 2 first aired because much like season 1, I thought the story was gonna be boring. So seeing the anime first and then getting additional context from the main story later, I can confidently say that they did a great job at conveying the story with what they had. Hopefully you're getting the idea by now that each season builds up on each other and improves on what's already there. There is a subtle narrative about Amiya's growth. She's still the same caring person who wants to save everyone even when they choose to deny her. One look might make you think she's an unchanging sponge, but even after taking losses after losses, she never wavered. She matured. These two seasons, despite their flaws, have been building up to the final chapter of Arc 1. This is when the anime gets even better. Oh my gosh guys, sound the alarm, we got 10 episodes! Arknights Season 3 is the machination of everything the previous 2 seasons has done right, but even better. By this point, they only had to cover 2 chapters with those 10 episodes, so surely they use it wisely, right? I've briefly mentioned episode 2 earlier, but to truly show you the experience without spoiling the 3rd season, I'm gonna do the exact same thing they did, but for season 1 and 2.
Oh my gosh, he's awake.
Donkey!
I'm actually a rabbit.
Fighting. Alright, that's a pretty cool base.
We gotta save Misha.
Who?
Not important. Misha, I'm infected too.
Run!
Remember, if it wasn't for me, your friend would be headlining in heaven. Or according to Born Again Betty, hell, since after all he is Jewish.
Kaya!
You! What do you want?
Thanks a lot, man.
Huh?
Oh cool, base. Back to Lungmen. Whoa, bunny.
Why'd you call me donkey?
I like your singing. Oh my gosh, she's gonna... Zombies! Friends! Oh hey, we slowed down a bit.
領域展開
Now you're expected to be caught up for season 3. Who thought of this? The animation was gorgeous before, but now each shot is truly screenshot worthy. But I have a question for you guys. Do you think the show is a bit desaturated? Maybe it's done on purpose to show that this world isn't all sunshine and rainbow, or maybe my eyes are too used to dopamine flashing colors. I'm not too sure. I have never been against CGI in anime because I can understand that this man alone is gonna delay the anime for another 10 years if they were to hand draw him. But there's one thing this season did exceptionally well, because it finally slowed down, letting us see the scenery as we get to learn about the beginning of Reunion and especially Tallulah. They've actually managed to cut out the unnecessary dialogues in the game while keeping in the things that not only keeps the story moving forward, but also makes you feel for the characters. We see that Tallulah is similar to Amiya. She's trying to do what is right and what she believes is righteous, fighting for the infected just so they can live a normal life. And along the way, we see her be put in many difficult situations that even I can't help but wonder what I could have done. I was so hooked on the show that I even forgot some of the events that are going to happen. And when I do remember it, it just makes the moment hit so much harder. I legitimately got goosebumps when the prophecy for the Lord of the Fiend was uttered, and it was emotional when listening to the voice acting. Let me tell you, the anime voice acting has always been good before, but for some reason, maybe because of the increase in budget or the fact that HYPERGRYPH knows this season is the one they need to do right, the voice acting felt so real. With the final episode still coming out, or is out depending on when I finish editing this video, things are only going to get better. Whether you're a new fan, an old fan, or someone who was put off by season 1, I still 100% recommend you watch Arknights, because it is unfortunate that people still associate it with the poorly paced, no stake that is season 1. But believe in me when I hype it up, because if by some miracle it is able to continue to get the same or an even better treatment than what it has right now, this could very well be the start of a generational defining anime.
From the open shore I will learn to fly, soaring past the great divide. Voices that surface seem to call out all the lies. Is it still a sin if I let them in as they sail to calmer tide? I'll awaken what's asleep inside.
This is probably one of my last Arknight videos because of
Peter, the horse is here.
Thank you for tuning in, and when the final episode drops, feel free to tell me if this video aged like milk or not. Also give me your thoughts on the anime because I want to know what you guys think. Okay, hope to see you next time. Bye.